Lenovo is hoping to find the same success with the latest addition to the series, the Vibe K5 Note, that was launched in India in August. With upgraded hardware and a premium design, does the latest affordable smartphone from Lenovo prove to be a worthy successor? We find out in this comprehensive Lenovo Vibe K5 Note review. More and more manufacturers are starting to include all-metal designs in their mid-range and entry-level smartphones, so it is not surprising that the Lenovo Vibe K5 Note features a full metal unibody construction. Admittedly, it doesn't feel like the highest quality metal when compared to its more expensive and higher-end counterparts, but the construction is sturdy, and the device feels solid in the hand. Taking a look around the device, the headphone jack sits on the top, while the microUSB port can be found on the bottom. The hybrid dual SIM card and microSD card slot are on the left side, and on the right is a power button and volume buttons. The buttons are definitely an improvement when compared to its predecessor, with a good amount of travel and a nice click to them. Below the display are capacitive navigation keys, and unlike its predecessors, the keys to light up, which is a nice upgrade. It is not particularly bright though, and you won't really notice it unless you're in a dark environment, but that is when having backlit navigation buttons is the most useful anyway. The Vibe K5 Note comes with the 5.5-inch IPS LCD display with a full HD resolution, resulting in a pixel density of 401 ppi. This display is a huge improvement over its predecessor, particularly when it comes to the brightness. Color reproduction and viewing angles are better as well. 1080p allows for plenty of sharpness, and reading text, watching videos, and playing games are all enjoyable on this large display. The default settings are good enough, but you do have the option to change the color balance and temperature to better suit your needs. There is a manual mode that gives you granular control over those aspects, and a few preset options, like comfort mode, that helps protect your eyes when browsing the phone for long periods of time. The Vibe K5 Note comes with the same rear camera as its predecessor, a 13-megapixel shooter with the dual LED flash. The front-facing camera has been updated however, now sporting an 8-megapixel sensor. Taking a look at the camera app, it is quite simplistic and easy to use. Everything you need can be found on the viewfinder, including the toggles for HDR and flash, as well as the button to switch between the front and rear cameras. The menu houses just the panorama mode and a slew of color filters, and diving deeper into the settings is where you can play around with features like aspect ratio, photo resolution, snap mode, white balance, ISO, triaxial leveling, and guidelines. There isn't a whole lot of improvement in terms of image quality with the K5 Note when compared to its predecessor. The camera is still capable of taking some really nice shots outdoors and in good lighting conditions. The color reproduction isn't very accurate though, and images lack saturation, making them appear quite dull. On the software side of things, the Vibe K5 Note is running Android 6.0 Marshmallow out of the box. The default launcher is very clean, minimalistic, and features a lot of stock Android elements, especially when it comes to the settings menu, notifications shade and app drawer. However, for those who have used Lenovo smartphones in the past and prefer the company's different take on Android, you also have the option to easily switch to the company's Vibe UI. This offers a completely different look and feel, and elements like the app drawer are no longer available, leaving users dependent on folders to keep things organized. My personal choice is the former, but people who are already used to it from the experience they enjoyed with their previous smartphones may prefer the latter. Overall, it's great to see Lenovo leave the choice up to the user. The Vibe K5 Note is powered by the octa-core MediaTek Helio P10 processor, clocked at 1.8 GHz and backed by the Mali-T860MP2 GPU. This particular review unit comes with 4 GB of RAM, but there is also a slightly cheaper version of the phone available with 3 GB of RAM. The benchmark scores may not be very impressive, but the overall performance has actually been really good. Opening, closing, and switching between apps has been a breeze, and the device handles everyday tasks very well. The gaming performance is excellent as well, and there have been no instances of lag or stutter. 32 GB is the only option as far as onboard storage is concerned, regardless of whether you pick the 3 GB or 43 GB of RAM version. Expandable storage via microSD card is available, up to an additional 256 GB. However, the second SIM slot doubles as a microSD card slot, so users will have to make the choice between expandable storage and dual SIM capabilities. While the K4 Note featured dual front-facing speakers, the single-speaker unit of the K5 Note has been relegated to the back. Lenovo mentions that the curve along the bottom near the speaker directs the sound better, and it does help to some extent, but front-facing is definitely the better way to go. The sound quality itself is pretty good, and the speaker gets decently loud without sounding tinny. The Dolby Atmos features do return however, where you can choose between preset options like movie, music, game, or voice, or set up custom settings depending on your liking. You also get additional features, including surround virtualizer, dialogue enhances, and volume leveler,